The Mandalorian, Chapter 11, The Heiress is finally out. Today, not only are we going to review the heck out of it, but we're going to talk about possibilities about future characters that are going to appear in the next episode, hopefully, and a lot more. So let's get started without further ado. The last episode wasn't that exciting. In a need-to-know basis, basically, the Mando is transferring the frog lady, who is carrying her eggs and species as well, to Trask in order to meet up with her husband. After a kerfuffle on the way with some New Republic X-Wings and the Krukna, now Mando, Baby Yoda, and Frog Lady limping with half of their ship destroyed slowly to Trask. And this is where the problem lies now, is that they cannot even penetrate the atmosphere of Trask simply because their ship is not fully operational. Mando is optimistic they will make it if they do not burn to a crisp. And as they enter the atmosphere at high velocity, now they start to feel the ramifications of it all. The systems are flaring up, and just as Mando thinks he will make it to the port in one piece, the ship jumps at the last moment and drops into the sea, together with all of the inhabitants. Fortunately for them, the docks have repurposed what looks like AT-ATs or AT-AT walkers into cranes for lifting heavy machinery, as the AT-AT has no problems picking up the Razor Crest and putting it down on the dock. Once outside, Mando commissions a local Mon Calamari to not only watch over the Razor Crest but fix it as soon as he can. Frog Lady, though, doesn't waste time in finding her husband in one piece. They're glad to see each other. The husband is extremely thankful to Mando. However, the Mandalorian is not here only to bring his wife, but to find out the location of more Mandalorians, as it was promised to him in the last episode. Now the husband gestures to a local restaurant or cantina, whatever you want to call it. They all go up in together, but Mando kind of notices that somebody is watching him closely in the shadows. Now we see this moment in the trailer, and we will soon find out who that person really is. Inside the cantina, a Mon Calamari server approaches Mando. Mando wanted food for Baby Yoda, who was hungry, but he also wanted information. He offered the server calamari flan, which is the currency of the planet Mon Cala, seeking information about people that looked like him, basically Mandalorians. And again, the Mon Calamari server directs him to another person who is now a Quarren fisherman, a very secretive guy to say the least. He instructs the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda to make a journey with him out into the sea and take him to the Mandalorians. He then asks Mando, has he ever seen a Mamacor eat, which is quite a sight apparently, and the Mando is just not trying to ruffle feathers. He goes along with this, and while they're watching the so-called spectacle of the Mamacor eating, it is at that moment that we realize it's a trap. You see, the Quarren pushes Baby Yoda's carriage into the sea hole in order for it to get eaten so that the Mandalorian will go after it. While Baby Yoda gets swallowed entirely, Mando makes it into the sea, and while he cannot find him now, he cannot escape as well because the Quarren have trapped him inside. We quickly learn that all this was a ruse in order to get his Beskar armor, which is extremely rare and valuable in the black market. This is the moment where BO-KATAN makes her comeback. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is back as rumored to have been. She is with her gang and they subdue the Quarren very quickly, I might add, and she does not waste time in giving the Mando her hand and help. Once he is outside, they even go on to rescue Baby Yoda very effortlessly, and once everybody is in one piece, BO-KATAN and the gang remove their helmets. This is what leaves Mando stunned once again. Mando chastises them for removing their helmets, thus proving they are not real Mandalorians. Unfortunately, BO-KATAN realizes the truth at this moment. She goes on to explain to Mando that not only is she a real Mandalorian helming from the planet Mandalore, and she is from Clan Kryze, but that he was raised by a cult of separatist Mandalorians called the Watch. We now realize that the Mandalorian has been brainwashed in the ancient way. This cult faction called the Watch separated from the Mandalorian clans, believing that they were heretics and that they should go back to the way the ancient Mandalores were by not ever revealing their identity and removing their helmets. Naturally, we can understand the disagreement that the Mandalorian has with this revelation. He leaves the site by himself and doesn't join BO-KATAN and the others. However, destiny has a way of bringing people back. As he is roaming the streets, he comes upon the Quarren fisherman's brother, who he had just killed supposedly, but thankfully Mando has his backup. Bo-Katan does not waste time in rejoining Mando, and together with her squad, they destroy the rest of the criminal Quarren. It is after that that Mando and Bo-Katan sit down at the local cantina to talk about what the Mandalorian needs. He quickly explains that he is on a mission to bring back the child and integrate it into his own kind. The Jedi would help. And this, of course, is where Mando is in luck, since Bo-Katan knows a very formidable Jedi, but she does not reveal her identity quite yet. She needs help with one of her own missions first, and if Mando would help, then Bo-Katan will tell Mando the location of this Jedi. Well, having no choice but to accept, Bo-Katan explains to Mando that this is a heist of an Imperial Gazanti cruiser. Now, if you're not familiar with a Gazanti cruiser, it is a very well-known ship, sometimes modified heavily, but it's always been in the shadows mostly. This is one of the first times we see a Gazanti cruiser in the Age of the Republic in the Phantom Menace, while Qui-Gon is way in the back there. As the years went on, the Empire adopted the Gazanti cruisers as well and started modifying them in order to carry heavy machinery and weaponry. Bo-Katan gives Mando the quick briefing of what is about to happen and how much forces they can expect inside to be protecting the Gazanti cruiser. However, she is not only after the Empire's weapons, as we will soon learn. Having no other choice, Mando goes on to leave Baby Yoda with Frog Lady and Frog Man, with the frog people who he had previously met and carried. In a very serious tone though, Mando warns Baby Yoda not to do what he wants to do. Now, this is a play on the previous episode where Baby Yoda was munching on those eggs without mercy, and this led into an entire controversy, as we talked about in the last episode. But if you thought it won't be teased again, then you're mistaken. In this episode, you will see Baby Yoda get teased again with these eggs. But it was time for the final mission. Mando and the crew go after the Gazanti freighter, hopping on one of the side entrances and clearing up the stormtroopers that were guarding it. This attack, however, leaves the Empire with an alarm. Attackers are inside the freighter. This is what the pilots reveal to the captain. They were expecting a squad of stormtroopers, but as it seems, they were much more. We get flashes of the original trilogy here, but with a bunch of stormtroopers trying to hold on to their own, but the Mandalorians make quick work of these stormtroopers, who cannot hit the side of a bantha, as one of the members noted, playing on the fact, of course, that they are horrible shots, the stormtroopers, and they stand no chance against the Mandalorians, who are making their way to the captain. Now, once the captain realizes they are in danger of getting captured, now he instructs his pilots to move out of the atmosphere quickly so that they can jump into hyperspace, even though they're not permitted to do so until they arrive to the harbor zone. Imperial officers and stormtroopers are trying their best to hold the Mandalorians, but it was just an onslaught. All these action scenes right here were more to showcase how fearless Bo-Katan and her crew are, more so than a fair battle. Also to show how dumb the Imperials are, as they trap the Mandalorians inside the cargo bay controls, and they simply open the cargo bay doors and let everybody get sucked out. Now it was time for glory. Bo-Katan and her crew find every pristine weapon that the Imperials were transporting. Surprisingly though, this is the time we find out the real reason why Bo-Katan wanted to invade this Imperial Gazanti cruiser. You see, she was after the Darksaber, the saber that Moff Gideon possesses and that it belongs to her. Her thinking was, if they can invade this cruiser and capture the captain, then he will lead them to Moff Gideon and ultimately her Darksaber. She is adamant that they need to capture the entire ship and not just the weapons, and this kind of infuriates the Mandalorian, who now realizes that the plan has changed. Reminiscent of Empire Strikes Back, Moff Gideon appears in hollow projection to the captain, instructing him that there will be no backup and that he knows what to do next. So what to do next really meant sink the ship and go down with the ship, taking not only the weapons but these Mandalorians with you. Moff Gideon's last words to the captain: "Long live the Empire." The captain then shoots both pilots, takes the controls, and dives into the water, trying to destroy the ship together with everybody on board. Now the Mandalorians need to move quickly, and they are again stalled by a bunch of stormtroopers who have heavy artillery and are firing at our crew. And this is where the Mandalorian shows his resilience and his worth to Bo-KATAN, as he grabs 2 grenades and with his Beskar armor rushes towards the stormtroopers who are shooting at him adamantly. Thankfully though, his Beskar armor keeps him relatively safe until he comes closer to them and throws both grenades at the stormtroopers. Once the troopers are destroyed and they capture the captain basically kills himself in order not to be captured, and Bo-KATAN unfortunately still doesn't get the true answer of the Darksaber, although she knows the real truth, that Moff Gideon, once they stabilize the ship, the mission is over. Bo-KATAN has captured what she needs, and she has learned what she needs as well. Now Mando needs some information as well, and Bo-KATAN is willing to help him out. Not only was he brave and showed his resilience, but the child will soon have his home. After all they went through, Bo-KATAN tells of Ahsoka Tano. Yes, my friends, in the next episode, hopefully, we will get to see the Jedi, Ahsoka Tano, who is located, according to Bo-KATAN, on Caladan, on the Force planet of Corvus. This is where Mando needs to go next. Picking him up from the frog people, Mando goes back to his rinky-dink ship, patched together by the Mon Calamari, and while his ship is in working condition, it is not in prime condition in the slightest. However, now they will need to make this journey into the next episode and into the planet Corvus, which hopefully we will get to see in the next episode. I'm hoping for that, and I truly hope we don't get a filler episode again until we see Ahsoka Tano in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments. The Mandalorian has finally found Ahsoka Tano. Guys, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe for dailies. I'll see you in the next episode, and may the Force be with you until then.